welcome to Royally Unfiltered, the show that takes you behind palace gates like never before. I mean, Richard, King Charles clearly understands President Trump's taste for spectacle, and he gave him plenty to boast about when he gets home. I think that the president just ate this whole thing up. Dickie, at one point while inspecting the guard, this was at Windsor Castle on day one, a jovial King Charles joked with President Trump to watch the sword. I mean, we talk about President Trump, you know, the small gestures where he's touching the backs of Prince William or even the king, allowing the king to just briefly touching the king. But that was a unique moment too, where the king cracks a joke in such a serious. I mean, knowing all eyeballs are on him, it might not necessarily be a serious moment, but knowing that every lip reader and everybody's going to dissect this moment.
That explains the relationship between the two men. They got on extremely well in 2019, despite all the protests in London at the time, and they got on extremely well this time. The king made the point to beware the sword, because when the guard commander is taking his leave, he salutes by dropping the sword down. I don't know how close the sword was to the president. I doubt it was very close, but it was just a nice exchange between two heads of state. And that really does show off the relationship that the two have with each other.
What is the significance of the president being greeted by William and Catherine? Why was this so significant that William and Catherine met the president and first lady at the helicopter?
There is always a lower down member of the royal family, not the head of state. The head of state greets the visitor at the saluting place, wherever it might be. It happened that it was in the quadrangle at Windsor Castle. A lower royal, and when I say a lower royal, with all due respect to William and Catherine, will always meet the president wherever they land. Now, we had the president land at Stansted Airport. He was met by the Foreign Secretary, Yvette Cooper. And when he landed from the American Embassy on the East Lawn at Windsor Castle, he was met by William and Catherine. That is normal practice.
Okay.
Because that is not the ceremonial arrival. The king and the queen are there for the ceremonial arrival. It's not downgrading or anything like that. In the past, it might have been the Duke of Kent. It might have been Princess Alexandra. It might have been the Princess Royal, or dare I say, the Duke of York. But it is always another member of the royal family.
Perfect.
But it's the king and the queen, the official welcome.
Thank you for clarifying for me, because I saw some talk about that it was a big deal that it was them, and it's always a big deal when I get to see William and Catherine.
Been so much talk. I think one of the notes you sent through was that the Queen shooed Kate away.
Oh my gosh, I know.
That is absolute nonsense, because
I know.
I watched the whole coverage, and if you watch it, 5 seconds after that hand gesture, a carriage came past.
So she's almost like she
was almost going to be run over.
Yeah.
So all Camilla was doing was say, move.
Right.
But,
that was page 6. I want to clarify that was page 6, though. That was not my observation. I thought it was silly. Yeah. I was hoping we could debunk the story.
It's a foreign press, all led by People magazine, which I sort of reckon it's a sort of National Enquirer upgraded.
Oh, gosh. Well, Harry and Meghan hate to hear that, since that's their personal press release system. Richard, I want you to
volumes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Richard, I want to talk about the moment that I found so sweet. And I have seen criticism about it. We see President Trump greet the Princess of Wales and say, "You are so beautiful." And, he's shaking her hand, telling her how gorgeous she is. There's also, I don't want to jump to the banquet, but we might as well. The sweet moment at the banquet where he talks about how she's so radiant and so healthy and beautiful. And he says it's a great honor to be there with her. Now, there has been a lot of criticism about this online, and I totally disagree with it. This is a woman who every day has to deal with people judging her looks. Is it a wig? Is that her real hair? Is she wearing extensions? Talking about her physical appearance post-cancer, which I think is so cruel. How sweet of the president to just make her feel comfortable in that moment, I believe, by saying, "You look beautiful." I mean, I'm hoping that the objective was to boost her confidence a little bit.
I think the objective was, and also the fact is that I think he was being perfectly sincere, and also I think he was stating a fact. She did
Yeah.
look, you dropped dead gorgeous, and I think that that aspect of it. I mean, the facts are that. I mean, Dickie was saying why the William and Catherine met the Trumps, but there's no doubt that anything that involves them is particularly special because it involves them and because they, I mean, not only four members of the royal family are working under 70, but of course they are the next in line, and of course they will have a very, very special place internationally. Anything that actually involves them, I think, will get an international coverage, which other members of the royal family won't get. I'm hoping that she will be well enough. I know she's in remission, and hoping that when it comes to the 250th anniversary next year, that they will be representing Britain, which I would have thought makes perfect sense. I think it was, I know he was talking a lot about appearance, and I know also some people don't particularly like women's appearance being commented on, given the days we live in. Things have altered to some extent in that respect, the way men talk about them. And I think also anything President Trump says will annoy some people because it's him. And we know he's a tremendously divisive figure. But on the other hand, I thought it was charming. And also you will have seen the still from the banquet, which made her look, I can only say, absolutely exquisite, sort of fairy tale princess. And putting it mildly, I would say that he looked admiring, and allowing for the fact that he's as controversial and divisive as we all know. I think that was the purpose of all this, to flatter him. I mean, that was the whole idea of having something which we've been admiring. And from that point of view, I thought it worked.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stick my oar in here because I saw that picture and I thought, wow, this is delightful. An old-fashioned word that I'm not terribly sure you're allowed to use today, but I think they were flirting.
I love it. I love it. That is the cutest. I thought that too.
I'm shocked.
I immediately
No, you're
thought,
not.
flirt alert when I saw that photo. What a cute reaction. Well, King Charles, Dickie, joked during his speech that had the media succeeded in the 1970s in their own attempt at deepening this special relationship between the US and the UK, he might have been married off within the Nixon family. We know that Nixon did try to set him up with his daughter. Sally Bedell Smith told me that Jenna Bush, daughter of former President George W. Bush, encouraged Prince Harry to date her twin sister, Barbara. Oh, what might have been, Dickie? Prince Harry could have been at that dinner last night with the Bush girl instead of in Montecito with perhaps a joint and a surfboard.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Yeah, I remember I was reporting in those days, when I say those days, 1970. And yeah, Tricky Dickie tried to set him up with his daughter, Patricia. It didn't work. Look, the King, Prince of Wales, was only 21. So he was a long way off even thinking about getting married. He was just out of university. He was about to go into the services. He was invited there along with his sister, the Princess Royal, to the United States. I mean, the president was using the royals to boost his image. He'd been elected in 1969. He wasn't particularly popular. He didn't push forward a particularly good persona when he was Eisenhower's vice president, but he was going to use the royals to try and boost his popularity. It didn't work because we know what happened to him a few years later. But yeah, at least the king could joke about it. And that's a good one on him.
That is cute. Thank you so much for your time today. And I will talk to you gentlemen both very, very soon.